those kind of photos, like they tend to call like sexual photos, I think, something like that, relating them to sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
It's someone's choice. If I choose to do that kind of photography, don't think that every model out there wishes to do that. It may not be my choice, and it's someone's choice.
Mujevale, Mujevale, Mujevale. My name is Bani Kibuka, and welcome to another episode of the Ugandan Boy Talk Show. Yeah, welcome to my podcast. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very fine. So, somebody recommended you to come to my podcast, Doreen Kabarabe. She was like, "Hey, you need to host this lady." So I was waiting, and I wanted to host this person to my podcast to hear your story, to hear about your life and what you're doing, and letting the people know about you and what you're doing. I've seen some of your work on social media. It's really uh, encouraging and it's really some good work. So today we're going to be talking about that, your life, what you do, and so who is Jane Mukisa?
Jane Mukisa, the black model, is a professional model, a student at Makerere University, a brand ambassador for Early Creations, area photographer, and any award clothing.
How did you come up with the name the Black Model?
I really don't have like a specific explanation for that, but the fact that I'm dark skinned and we had a campaign with Jocelyn yesterday, I think we once hosted her. So we
Mm-hmm.
were talking about positioning, color. So it came into my mind and I was like, why not call myself the black model so that I encourage those people out there to also be proud of their skin color.
That's actually nice. I like the explanation you've given, like to encourage people with their color. I know what countries are right now is like people like people want to make you ashamed of who you are or your color, and so I like that you actually bring that up first in you, that you accept who you are and you love who you are and you put that in your name. Like when somebody asks you, like I asked you, who is Jen Mukis, and you make sure you say the Black Mother because you're proud of that, and that makes me really happy. I really appreciate that you have that in your introduction because you bring that up and you're creating awareness of appreciating who you are, and I really like that. So what is your background, like where you from, any siblings?
I grew up from Mokiso, and I had one of your interviews like with someone you're talking about you from Wakiso too. So I grew up in Wakiso Town Council with a single mom of two daughters. I'm the firstborn. I should I talk about me going to school and stuff?
I'm gonna ask you about that, but before you go to your school, you caught my attention by saying you grew up in Wakiso Town Council, because I grew up in Wakiso Town Council. So I'm gonna first talk about that. Where exactly? Because I think I know almost all the places in Wakiso.
Sure. Chikokilo. Do you know that side?
Chikokilo. I know Chikokilo, but actually my brother lives in Chikokilo right now. Uh,
Oh,
my uncle has a house in Chikokilo, and yeah, I've been in Chikokilo. Is that where you're catching this recording from?
no, I shifted because that's where I was living with my mom, but apparently I live alone in Zana.
Okay. Yeah, I know Chikokilo very well. We used to play soccer there in Chikokilo, and my brother is living there right now, and he has a shop in Chikokilo. So, yeah, that caught my attention. So, anyway, let's talk about your school background. Where did you go to school? I'm interested in that too, because you might have gone to the same school I did.
I went to, I already started near home. So I went to Kalinga Classic Primary School,
I know Kayunga
and
Classic.
from my primary to P7. Then from senior 1 to senior 6, I went to St. Augustine's College.
I know St. Augustine's College. My cousin went to that school, and my cousins went to Kayunga Classic. I went to Naluvule Rock Parents, and at that time, Naluvule was like had a rival school with Kayunga Classic. The times when I went to school, so like in performances, and they would have like their beefs back and forth. But what year did you graduate high school?
2004.
That's the same year. No, no, no. That was high school. But anyway, yeah, that made me happy. At least I'm talking to somebody who knows a little bit of my background too, like where I grew up. And so the way I found you to bring you in my podcast was through modeling. And Doreen Kabarabe recommended, I say that in the beginning, like she recommended you to come to the podcast. So when did you discover that you want to be a model?
I can say that I discovered my modeling career in my Form 5, that's in 2017.
Okay.
It was in heart, but then officially started in 2019. That's after my senior six.
What's the one thing that made you want to become a model?
One, it will be my body size.
Okay.
And second, it would be my mom and my sisters. So they always called me model. And it came to grow in me that I can be one. So I am researching, what am I going to do about this? How am I going to start this? So I started research. I made research. I started trying out the catwalks in the house. And my mom was like, wait, you can be a good model. All started, my sisters, my friends around me, my mom, my body size, my skin color. Because literally, when you see the modeling industry, they love Black people. So everything around me started to motivate me around to be a model.
That is interesting. Actually, when I started my podcast, I never knew that I'm gonna have more models than the actual like other people. But ever since I started my podcast, all the people that I've hosted, at least the majority have been models, and it's really interesting to learn their stories and learn what they do. I hosted the Miss Uganda 2019, 2020. I don't know if you've checked her episode, and she was talking about, she was here, and that's how it got started, and starting to know about the modeling industry. I didn't know a lot about it, but like hosting people who have done it, I've learned a lot about the modeling and hosting different people. And so how, when I was reading your introduction, no, like your biography on social media, it says that you're the first run-up Miss Makerere University. How did you get into that, and walk us through that journey?
Oh, that is a mysterious thing that happened to me unknowingly. Because this particular time, I saw people modeling, like here at campus, campus, you find a lot of people. So I get out of this room, I find people modeling. So the fact that I've been in this industry, like I know what to do, I know, like I can train people. So I looked at them and I was like, you guys, you are doing you're not doing the right thing, brother. So they were like, are you a model? I was like, yeah, so I can help you out on what you do. Little did I know that they are practicing for the event of Miss Makerere University, because that was our freshers ball that year. So I told them, can I train you? Okay, they literally asked me to train them. So I showed them how to do stuff, and I was like, what are you guys preparing for? They're like, we're preparing for freshers ball that's gonna be Miss Makerere University and stuff. So I'm like, can I join you guys? Quote me, a model, like I can participate. So I train them. Later in the day, I go see the person who was responsible for the event. I was like, I really want to join in. I want to model also. So this person asked me, can you please work for me? I worked. He was like, you are very good. Please, you are welcome. So that's how I went in. We started to train. We trained for 3 days. So the 4th day, we trained. Actually, that day I had a test. So that's the very bad thing about our industry. I had a test. I had to do the test. I had to train for the event. I had to look for the clothes I was supposed to put on the event. So in the evening, I really felt sick. out of the blue, I don't know even how I got sick. I reached the runway. The fact that I had prayed and I really wanted what I was going to do. I had to walk no matter the case that I was sick. I walked. So it reached time they had to vote. So voting, it was Sarah who passed through, like Miss Makerere University, and then I was the second. So they gave me first runner up Miss Makerere University, and they who made, I think, Miss Tourism. Yeah, it was Miss Tourism who crowned us, and that's how I got
Nice.
to that post, but in a mysterious way, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was me.
That is an interesting story, and that relates to something that, like, opportunities come in different ways, like you say, mysterious way, like you don't know, and then it just shows up, and then you take a step. That's what I usually tell people: you got to be ready, because like the opportunity was there and you were ready, and when they gave you the opportunity, you just went for it. And that's what I try to remind people on my podcast, like, yeah, these opportunities are going to come, but you got to be ready when that opportunity comes for you to take it, because you might miss it, but here you took the opportunity you had. So what has been the biggest stage like you've modeled on? Like, what's the biggest stage you've been on?
The biggest stage, I would say the longest runway in East Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where was that at?
It was at International University of East Africa, the side of Kabalagala. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
How do you feel? How do you feel about walking in front of like a lot of people? Are you nervous, or are you used to it now, or what?
Oh my God. One thing I know about myself when it comes to my career, I never get shy. I'll stand up and do whatever it takes. Even if I'm not ready, I'll be ready anytime it comes to my career. I'm ready. Even now, when you tell me, hey, we have a gig, I'll straight up dress up, come to you.
That's a good thing I like about people. Like the same thing to me. Like people tell me, "Oh, you like speaking, you like talking." Like somebody would wake me up. Like, "Hey, you're gonna talk here." I'll just wake up and just start talking. Like I can even make up a conversation out of my head and just start talking about something.
Things just come up naturally, you know.
Yeah. What are some of the biggest? What's some of the benefits you've got out of modeling? Like some things you've benefited out of it.
Oh my God, there are very many. One and first and foremost, I've gotten to know a lot of big and a lot of creative, a lot of passionate people in my career, like in this industry. I never thought of meeting any single day. I've gotten to work with different designers, different photographers, different companies, because you know I'm a brand ambassador to over 3 companies. I've got it, you know, modeling is full of, I wouldn't love it to call it free thing, but you know, you work and get something like without even paying, you know.
You would say a lot full of opportunities.
Yeah, full of opportunities that come around at any one time. So I've got to know a lot of people, money, you know, money, you're being paid for what you're doing, you're pushing something. Let me say you're advertising something, you're advertising a product, you're promoting something. They pay you out. So I've literally gotten a lot of things out of my career.
That is good. It's always nice to have something good out of something you do. You know, like if you don't have anything good you're getting out of something, you're doing the wrong thing. So you gotta change your mind. But
check out where you're going, you know.
Right. But like there's also a saying, like in anything, there's also a challenge. So what are some of the challenge you've got out of modeling? Like something you're still figuring out, or something that has been really hard?
What I would say the challenge is my height. Because you know, I'm not tall, I'm not short. So you're at that. So you reach an extent that you reach somewhere and someone wants someone tall to dress up in their clothes. So they're like, oh, you're not tall enough, like to dress up in my attire. So a lot of challenges. So negativity. We talk about a lot of things, you know. Nothing a straight line, you know. Everything that challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these challenges are going to keep coming. Like these challenges are going to keep coming at you.
Yeah.
But
Some of them you're gonna forget them. It will come, hit you, you solve it out, you forget about it.
yeah.
Because you know, you have to go on, no matter the case, you have to go. You don't have to remember the past, you know. Every time, even if something happens to me, like a challenge, the credit COVID is a challenge. Because if I'm able to solve it out and work it out, why would I be on it? Like I had this. No, I let go. I forget about it as long as my career, you know.
Yeah, and that's how life is supposed to be. Like try, if you can figure it out, figure it out. If you can't, just keep going, and maybe somewhere somehow it will work out. So who is your designer? And you mentioned about photographers. Who are some of the photographers you've worked with?
I've worked with Julio. I've worked with aerial photography. I've worked with patterns. I've worked with, oh my God, even I'm forgetting the names. Forgetting the names. Oh my. But anyways, there are very many, they know themselves.
Yeah. I also one of the designers, I think I've been in touch with him, and he wants to Emma Okwech, I think he's a fashion designer. Emmy Okwech, yeah, fashion designer. And yeah, I think I've seen him on your Instagram somewhere, no, or Facebook somewhere down where you
Cause brand ambassador.
Okay.
And I bought from Doreen Cavalier. Oh my God, thank you.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna host him on the podcast sometime, so we'll figure that out. So when I've hosted models here, even when I hosted Doreen Kavarabe, we had a discussion. We were talking about things, and today the world looks at models as that they're over sexualized. Like they think models are like everything about sex, like those ones. Like what is your take, and what do you have to say about people who over sexualize models?
What I have to say about this, it's all about someone's choice, you know. We all make choices. Because literally me, I can choose not to do, because those kind of photos, like they tend to call like sexual photos, I think, something like that, relating them to sexuality. It's someone's choice. If I choose to do that kind of photography, don't think that every model out there wishes to do that. It may not be my choice, and it's someone's choice. So what I advise people that it will be my advice, because you know they're taking it on a wrong side. Because me, I don't do that. Someone else. And in modeling, there are different types of photography. There's print photography, like print modeling, print modeling, lingerie. There is, oh my God, I'm tending to forget. I'm having a lot of, but what I'm trying to insinuate is that there are different types of modeling. So everyone chooses what type of model you want to be. Taking of photos with people's clothes, like products and stuff. There's runway modeling, there's print modeling, there is body modeling. So you tend to choose what you want to do. So they shouldn't say that modeling is like it's a sexual thing. It's not.
Right.
It's you person who chooses what they want to do.
That's the thing I've been trying to say. Like, most people think models might be like prostitutes, or models like they promote sex, or models, but not all models do that, and that's not the definition of a model. So yeah, I like to ask people that question to emphasize that, and letting awareness to people who don't know, because a lot of people who judge, they don't know. Like they don't know that you guys have different categories of models.
I think they do judge because those photos tend to trend a lot, you know?
Yeah.
People like that photos. So if someone does take those photos, it's going to trend more than this person who's doing creative work, you know, who is selling product. So I think they tend to take it like that because of those photos over trending over than these photos that are creative and
Yeah. So what
staying outside.
what would be your advice? Like you send out to a young girl out there who wants to be a model, but she's scared. Like, oh no, they say models they're not good or things like that. What would be your advice you send to the girl who is in that situation?
My advice would be that one has to first make research about what you're getting yourself into. The problem with young girls and boys out there, they tend to look up to us and they be like, I want to be like her. But have you sat down and asked yourself, what does it take to be a model? Sit down, Google out what do models do, what is modeling. You sit down and make your research.
Yeah.
Make research so that I'm going to be this kind of model. I'm going to be a commercial model. I'm going to be a runway model. I'm going to be a print model. So that you know what exactly you're coming into. Second, you have confidence about what you are doing. Because if you're not confident, no one is going to bring you up. Because right now we are in an era that people need confident people. Need someone who's gonna speak up for them, who's gonna come up and create something. So if you are not confident, no one is gonna see you. No one is gonna recognize you in society. Third, you have to be passionate about what you're doing because no one is gonna push you. This thing starts with us. Push yourself out so that other people can come up and help you out. Because if you don't show them the energy, no one is going to help you out because they think you don't know what you're doing and you're not serious. So be passionate, pray, be confident, know what you're getting yourself into so that everything works out.
Yeah, you had me on passionate. I like to. I'll tell a lot of people like no matter, not even only modeling, but in life, do something because you love it. It has to start with you from your heart, and the more you love something, the more you're gonna try to improve it. And that's the whole reason why I started the podcast because I love stories. I love listening to other people talk about their lives, and this is why it's keeping me going because I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be
I
passion.
think, and actually, I think they should be creative. The more someone is creative, creativity it's a very good push. Because if you are creative, people are going to know you better. People are going to love your work. But if you're not creative, you just wait for people to bring out like different things for you. You can't sit down and know that let me do and tell yourself, let me do this, let me do that, so that I get my career somewhere. It's not gonna work out for you, because not
Right.
everyone has. We are so busy. Everyone is so busy for
Yeah.
anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you meet Dorin Kavareve?
My God, I just think my things find me like they just come and hit. It's always a hit because I was working for some company. I won't share the name, but I was working for a certain company. So these guys were friends with Doreen. So this particular day, Doreen walks in. I was like, "Hey, is this Doreen?" So and I love the fact that she's a very loving person. She didn't know me. She didn't know even anything about me, but she will give me a warm welcome. She was like, "Hi, how you meet, she talk about certain stuff. I tell her I'm a model. She's like, oh, really? So immediately, actually, she invited me for a shoot just out of the blue. She was like, I want to do a collaboration with you. So just things come up, you always have to. So the next time we meet up, we did a shoot and stuff, but she's a very loving person, I can say.
Yeah, that is something I learned out of her. And when I had her on the podcast, you could tell like a lot of people have negative things about her, which I mean everybody has a negative thing about anybody, even if you're a nice person, somebody's gonna hate you. But I feel like there's a lot of good things like out of people that people don't see, and you are the people who come out here and just say, hey, this person helped me. I don't care what you think about them, but they have impacted my life. So
Me, I just think people just don't like people because they're negative. No, it's just because someone I think sometimes is better than them, you know.
yeah, that is
Not
true.
because they are. Not because of who they are. No.
So what has been your life lesson? What is something you've learned out of life so far at this point?
I have learned to love myself more, more and more and more. I have learned to believe in myself, to be confident, because this confidence has pushed me places, has taken me places. I have I have learned to love people, support people, because everyone, people are out there, but they don't know how to start up things. They don't know what to do. So I've learned to help people. I've learned to advise people. I've learned a lot of things in my career because it teaches us a lot of things.
Mhm. Yeah, I think you've learned the most important things in life, loving yourself and helping people. You can't get any better than that. As long as you care about yourself and then you care about the people around you, that's the best thing you can ever have in life. So, what gets you excited about life? What makes you happy about life?
One, I think what gets me excited about life is working. My mom is alive. That's my number one thing. Because
Mhm.
every time I know my mom is alive, it keeps me going. It keeps me working hard. The second thing is my energy. Oh my God. My energy. My energy gets me excited. If I say I'm gonna do this, it's supposed to happen.
Mhm. That is I think you've given me the best answers ever. Like anything about energy and like nobody can kill your vibe. Nobody, as long as you make the energy in you, like it's coming out of you, it's not coming out of anybody else. Because if you put your energy in somebody else, the people might disappoint you. But if it's coming out of you, it's gonna like keep
People always,
going.
that's why I thank my energy to myself. Because
Right.
a lot of people with me, you
Yeah.
know.
So what is
Yeah.
what is your goal in modeling? What's one thing you want to achieve in modeling?
One goal I would like to achieve is one, working on runways, no matter my height, because I do believe I am good. So I would love to walk all the runways abroad. This
Yeah.
alone Uganda, but I would love to go out there and show my talent to the world. I would, oh my God, I am really passionate,
Yeah.
but I would love to see myself on the big screen
Yeah.
in the world.
Yeah, I think that will come to pass.
It's
Like
not too big, but I would love to work also with the biggest designers in the world, you know, Gucci, you know, every big company I know in the world, I would love to work with them. I would love to support all the young generation out there that seem lost with their
mhm.
talent. I would love to empower them and tell them, hey, everything is possible. Even if you're not a model, even if you're a musician, I can talk to you and make you believe that your career is something good, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that is nice. And a dream, once you have a dream, just keep chasing it and
But
one day it will pay off. And that's how most of us have stories. Like we once just woke up with dreams that now we're fortunate enough to see it and just keep going. It doesn't stop there. You just keep dreaming every day. So I've seen this word a lot and I've not got a chance to ask any person in Uganda to tell me what it means. How did that slogan come up, all the more, and what does it mean?
for what?
Ole moi. I've had a lot of Ugandans say ole moi, and everybody is using it on like social media. Ole moi, ole moi. Some I've had a lot of people say ole moi, and I'm like, what does it? It's in Luganda, but I don't know what.
I'm not going to lie you because apparently I've been so busy with like like work, I have campus, I have a lot of things to
but
deal with. So
but I'm sure you've seen it on even WhatsApp, on Facebook. Everybody just saying ole moi in Uganda, ole moi.
in Uganda, so sometimes I see things and I just don't give a damn.
Got it. Got it. Let me leave
Yes.
that. I'll find somebody else to ask you because I don't know what it means and I've seen people use it.
Going to tell you that called me out.
All right. So who would you like to see on the podcast next? And you have to help us get the person to be here to interview them. You have to recommend somebody, and it's gonna be your duty to find the person and connect them to me.
I think it should be this girl. She's so hardworking. She is a form of artist,
Okay.
but she is so mature. Oh my God. I really love her energy. She is really good. She's called E58.
Okay. Phoebe Nikesa.
Yeah. She's a poet. She does poetry. So I think she's really good.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. So I'm giving you the task to find us Phoebe and connect them to me, and then we'll have her on the podcast sometime to share her story.
Also models. So I think you're gonna have more models on your broadcast.
I might change my podcast to a modeling podcast because I think I'm having more models than any other career.
Stories to tell,
Yeah.
Many people don't think in Uganda, so we have to make them realize that our career is good.
Yeah, but Jane, I really appreciate you coming on my podcast and just sharing your story. You have a whole vibe, like you happy and smiling and just not nervous at all. Like, answering these questions, it's just like a conversation. Just I had a good time like interviewing you. So thank you.
Happy meeting you or talking to you. It was a pleasure.
So yeah, we've come to the end of this episode recording, and I want to appreciate you for being here and sacrificing your data. I was supposed to record with one person from Uganda, and this person is a celebrity. I'm not gonna share their name here to embarrass them, but the day came to record, and this person told me to send them data so they can be on Zoom, and they're a celebrity. Like this is a celebrity. And
Yeah, that's
so I want to appreciate you that you did ask me for data, and you just came here to share your story.
we'll be helping. We'll be helping each. Because
That is-
if your audience gets to know me, my audience too is gonna know you. So I think it's a two-way win.
That's the whole point of my podcast. Is actually my motto is we rise by lifting each other up, and that's what I do. But when this person asked me for data, I was like, I can send the data, but that's not the point of my podcast. Like I don't have a problem sending the data, but that's not what I came to do. I came to work with each other, like that's how it is. So I was like, well, I know you're a celebrity, maybe your audience will love this, but that's not what I do, and I have to stick to my goal and my model. So I ended up not recording with it. But anyway, thank you very much. I don't want to take much of your time, and we'll see you soon. Hey there, I am Bonnie Kibuka, the host of the Ugandan Boy Talk Show. Thanks for watching my video, and don't forget to hit subscribe and share with a friend. Tune in every Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time for a new episode of my podcast. And for more information about this podcast, follow me on my Instagram page, talk_show_256.